Asante Demel is the bowler. He's bowling to Desmond Haynes with 3 runs on the board. Your commentators are Tony Greig and Keith Stackpole.
Pulls that one away through mid-wicket. And it's running away over this quick outfield. Rumesh Ratnayake bowling it in, and they complete 4. Asante Demel forcing Richie Richardson to chip it away just over the infield, but it goes down to the boundary for 4. Fields from there was Ravi Ratnayake jumping in the air, either Ravi or Rumesh. Oh, it's gone straight up in the air. Oh, no, that he hasn't moved. He doesn't want it. Well, the bowler can't believe it. And Yuri Vay gone in saying, well, go and see it. And up go the eyes of the little captain. Well, the bowlers really have had a tough time for Sri Lanka. The amount of catches that have been put down, but this one, you couldn't consider that to be in the category because he didn't touch it. And that looks as if it might have hit him right in the face. And I think he may well have lost a tooth or two. Oh dear, that's nasty. And that does hit Richie Richardson right in the mouth, as he's gone around to try and smash it away down the square leg, and clearly he's done some damage to his jaw. Looked as though it may have just flicked the glove on the way through, or the bat, onto the arm and then onto the jaw. And a very nasty injury sustained by Richie Richardson. So he's clearly going to have to retire hurt. No doubt we'll look down to the hospital just to see if there's any nasty damage. Nicely placed. There he goes, it's the back foot, guiding that into the gap and cover. And Desmond Haynes running very quickly between the wickets there, and they collect 3. Asante Demel, the bowler. That one must be played down to deep mid-wicket, and Larry Gomes collects 3. Our commentators now, Richie Benaud and Ian Chappell.
Standing Larry Gomes in touch out there. None for 37 West Indies compared with Sri Lanka's none for 15. West Indies aiming to get these runs within 33 overs, although they have 47 in which to get them.
They're at 4.62.
Good shot from Desmond Haynes. Even though the outfield is slow, it'll go for 4. And that's typical of the strokes the West Indies will be playing all the way through this innings, trying to whip through the runs in those 33 overs.
Shot ensures that it'll stay up around the 4.62 mark. Magnificent pull shot. Desmond Haynes rolling the wrists on it.
Beautiful stroke from Larry Gomes. Racing away to the square leg boundary. And the 50 comes up for the West Indies in quick time in the 10th over. Their target is 136 in as short a time as possible.
Straight over points head. The second boundary in that over from Norton John. West Indies moving along very nicely.
Ramesh Ratnayaka bowls to Gomes. He's hit Gomes, that's 2. Richie Richardson hit the face and Larry Gomes, neither of them wearing a helmet. Almost as though it got him on the cheekbone. It was just sort of nose and cheekbone and mouth together. And a very nasty blow indeed. Manager Senator Westfall is coming out to assist his injured player. Good shot from Desmond Haynes. They might have to run 4, or it might just make it to the boundary. Indeed it does. Very well timed. Put him down. Drop. Perhaps a little off balance. But it wasn't all that difficult once he'd started to go down for it.
So it was a good slower ball from Ramesh Ratnayaka. He fooled Desmond Haynes, who was attempting to whip it away on the onside. But the only thing that he didn't do was to complete the catch. Got the leading edge. West Indies none for 67. But they've had a couple of direct hits on the head. 2 batsmen retired hurt. Richie Richardson hit in the cheek and Larry Gomes hit in the mouth.
Here's the field. Onto the practice pitches and must go for 4. Inside the 15 overs, and Judith Mendes can't have more than the 2 men out. It's outside the fielding circle. Great shot again. Won't go for 4 this time, but they should run 4 easily. They'll look for 5, but they can't get it.
Well, the West Indies achieving their objective, keeping that run rate over 5. And they've certainly done that off for Norton John. He's going for exactly 5 runs per over.
That's 4. The moment it left the bat, it went like a rocket. Not too sure anyone wanted to get in the road at that.
Yes, Ratnayaka is a little bit deceptive, however. He sometimes produces that extra quick answer. It seems to me he lays his wrist back and really gets a lot of wrist into that final action.
That's a beautiful hook shot. That's the way to hook. Inside the line, hitting square. Richards, a beautiful hooker. Took it away for 4. He's pleased, and well he might be. Beautifully played.
Absolutely perfect. Controlled. In absolutely ideal position. Wasn't on the ground, but it's very difficult to keep that shot on the ground because the height of the ball is somewhere around shoulder, head height. What a difference between the position that Richards got into then and the position which Larry Gomes got into. Gomes had absolutely nowhere to go.
Out! He's gone! Last ball of the 15th over. Duhamel, oh, he's in pain, but he's held the catch at backward point, and Richards departs. Caught at backward point. Ramesh Ratnayaka, and a good wicket.
Well, Duhamel had to catch that, otherwise he would have been a donor. Richards really laid into that. It was the thickest of outside edges, sliced away, straight to Duhamel, straight in the breadbasket, and Duhamel just got his hands to it. A little bit of outswing here, and this is what defeated Richards. He wasn't quite to the pitch of it, and that little bit of movement found the outside edge. And that's what you call grinning and bear it. Delightful pain. Richards out. It's 1 for 86.
Haynes not out 36. And Lloyd coming to the crease yet to score.
Lloyd having come to the crease to succeed with Richards. The only man out so far. We should add that 2 of the West Indian batsmen have been injured. The only man to be dismissed was Viv Richards, who fell in this way as Ramesh Ratnayaka bowled that outswinging delivery. It was tantalising on a full length. Richards went for the drive, sliced it with the outswing and hit it straight in the breadbasket of Asantha Gamal, and he's been rewarded now with an over at the southern end for taking that catch.
Gone. Haynes trying to slash down the ground, drags DeMel back into the stumps, and all of a sudden, in real terms, the West Indies 4 out.
Wasn't as much bounce in this delivery as Haynes expected. Outside the off stump, an ambitious pull there from Desmond Haynes, but he's very, very wide of the off stump, didn't bounce, and underneath edge. And from the underneath edge, down onto that off stump, very, very hard, the bell's flying away towards first slip.
36 runs off 52 deliveries faced, and it's 2 for 90. Ramesh Ratnayaka. Beautifully played through the covers. Throw outfield, the ball racing and dying. We're through for 3. I'll come back for 4. Well, Gus Logie is a brilliant batsman, a great runner between the wickets. But what a magnificent fieldsman this man is. This afternoon it was Mendes who was his victim.
And it was Mendes who felt this deadly throw from Logie, who came around, swooped around from mid-wicket, onto it, threw from the position, the stoop position, one stump to hit at, and crash.
Oh, Lloyd's got one and got it away, maybe off the back of the bat. Ramesh testing out the great player, and he was in a lot of bother. Not wearing a helmet tonight, just the sun hat. He's okay, a little bit shaken.
None of the other 2 injured players were wearing helmets. And it's really surprising. That's just off the bat, right in front of the eyes, and Clive Lloyd, who's bought himself a pair of new spectacles, almost needed a replacement pair. It is absolutely surprising.
Elston Payne, the 12th man, rushing out the helmet for his skipper because he was struck on the head from Ramesh Ratnayaka. A little bit concerned with Gomes and Richardson in hospital, so the skipper goes for the added protection. Hook shot, there's a man down there, clears him, 4 runs. Justine Logie away, hooking fine. Brings up the 100 for 2, the 18th over.
West Indies really have been cracking on the pace, playing their strokes, hoping to get the victory before the 33rd over and thus go to the top of their group on the basis of run rate.
St. Clive Lloyd we still have favourite, I think, in the finals. Problem 2.
Well, I think Clive Lloyd will be desperately hoping that the injuries to Gomes it's not too serious. Doesn't look too pleasant as Lloyd goes through there for a very quick single.
Mendes trying to run out Gus Logie. That was a hare and a snail performance there. In comes the snail. There goes the hare.
West Indies struggling here under lights at the MCG. Not so much struggling for runs, but they're struggling a bit to avoid injury at the moment. And certainly not with any noted quickies, but they're knocking them down. pretty well hit. Just clearing the fence. 6 to Gus Logie. So the West Indies strike back after having been struck down a few times. They suddenly put one of those short pitch deliveries over the pickets.
A beautiful shot that. Rolling with it and right off the meat of the bat. Just carrying the fence down a square leg, and that's no mean hit. A long way down there. And this little guy times him pretty well.
In the air, fine leg has dropped it. That's the Sons of the Mill at fine leg. So the short pitch delivery has paid a lot of dividends for Sri Lanka tonight. On this occasion, the opportunity went begging.
This is a pretty straightforward catch. Dug in there and smashed away. And have a look at that. Straight in for Norton John, putting it down, and then straight away apologising for straight down to him there, and he really should have caught that.
That's absolutely smashed past point. 5 runs coming in that over. It's 2 for 118. Gus Logie picking the gap nicely there. Hit that one in the air, but bisected Karnane and Diaz de Silva. Once again, Gus Logie smashing the ball away to the boundary. Really is a great little striker of the ball. It's 2 for 127. They need just 9 runs for victory.
That's another beautiful shot here. Again, lovely timing. It's almost unreal that such a tiny little bloke can smash it away with such power. Just goes to show that batting is all about timing. You don't need to be big and strong. Put the ball in the right place in that bat, and it does go.
Slow ball. Logie going over the top of cover, way over the top of cover. So they need just 4 for victory now. There's a good slower delivery for Gus Logie, and at the last minute he realised he'd been fooled and went right through with the shot, lofting it over cover. And that return almost polished off Silva. One good hit from Clive Lloyd finishes the match. So the West Indies have achieved their dual ambition. That is to take the 2 points and also to score the runs inside 33 overs. They're just checking on the score to make sure that the West Indies have got up. Either that or Lloydie's asking for some more batting practice. But no. He decides he's had enough, and well he might, with 2 blokes put in hospital and Lloydie himself probably going to have quite a headache tonight.